Hello and welcome, Chroma Squad fans, to this brief overview on how to create your own episodes on the episode editor for Chroma Squad. So the episode editor is finally out, and what you can do now is you can create your own episodes with pretty much all of the resources that we use to make Chroma Squad's regular episodes. Uh, Minus a few things like object interaction, stuff like that, but 90% is there. And you can have people play those and slot into their own campaigns. The episodes, the difficulty of the enemies, they scale automatically depending on where players are on their campaigns. So we got that handled for you, and it's a pretty powerful tool overall. And on this video, I'm going to walk you through the very basics on how to set up your episode with the bare minimum of things, and then upload it, test it out, and then upload it to Steam Workshop so other people can play it. So this is the first window you're gonna see. So to access the episode editor itself, you need to download the DLC. It's free. It's not paid. You just have to download the DLC on Steam, and then you're going to find it on the main menu of the game. And if you don't have any episodes, you're going to start from scratch and create here. You can check our documentation. I highly recommend that you do so. And whenever you create your own episode, what you have to bear in mind is that this tool is a development tool. It's not meant to be super approachable like a Nintendo game or something like that where you create things. It's really a development tool, so it assumes that you're going to read the documentation and that you're going to watch out for inconsistencies and possible errors in the things that you do. So it's absolutely not error proof. It is not going to hold your hand very much, but on the upside, it's a very powerful tool, and you can make super complex episodes with it. So with that in mind, I highly recommend that you go through documentation and that you make sure to revise your own work before you think that there's a bug or anything wrong with the editor itself. But if there is a bug, you can always click on the top right of the screen here and send us a bug report. This is much more helpful than posting on the forums and things like that, because when you send a bug report with the in-game reporting tool, it goes with a log and screenshots and different information that we can use to better understand what was going on. So I highly recommend that if you do find a bug, and you use this. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through a super simple episode right now, and here in the episode info, you can access this anytime. You really don't have to get it right the first time. But here you can set the title and the description of the episode. It's gonna show up both on the recording screen of the studio and also the Steam Workshop. And just like the other episodes of Chroma Squad, you're gonna find a location and a boss. The location is gonna be on the episode card on the recording screen, but it's also gonna be the starting location of your episode. So choose it carefully. We're gonna go to the studio. Here with the when you choose a boss, just click this big box here, not the boxing box, but a selection box. You know what I mean. And you get to choose any of the game's bosses that you want to be on the cover of your episode. So we're just gonna go with boxing box because it's classic, and you can set it to be secret or not. If you set secret boss, it's gonna be a dark silhouette. If you leave this unchecked, you're gonna see the whole boss. Everybody knows boxing box, so no need to keep him in secret. So let's just make the return of boxing box. So for the description, we're gonna say this is an example for the video tutorial of Chroma Squad episode editor. Please pay attention to the character limit on this one. And finally, you can set the location name. So the studio, you can really use whatever you want. You can get clever, funny with this. And finally, last but not least, we have the minimum season settings. So with this, you can limit when players can play your episodes during Chroma Squad's campaign. So if you set this to season 1, pretty much every player can play your episode at any point. Like I said, the difficulty of the enemies is going to scale to the player's current season, so don't really have to worry about that. With that said, if your episode has some tie-ins with the regular campaign, or if it's meant to be played with more skills and things like that on the part of the player, you can set this higher. So since we want to guarantee that the player has faced the boxing box before, we're gonna set this as season 2. So after they defeat boxing box on season 1, on season 2 they're gonna see the return of boxing box. They can play this episode right here. So this is the timeline editor. This is the main screen of the tool. This is the screen that you're going to be spending most of your time. So what the timeline editor is a sequence of events. So a Chroma Squad episode is a string of events one after the other in a timeline. So the first thing you want to do here is to actually the first thing you want to do is save your episode. So you go on the top left corner of the screen and just press ESC, and you can save your episode. I recommend you do this often and also back up your work. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is add a new event with this button right here, and you can select which type of event you want to add. So the first thing you want to go for is story events. And talk is well, pretty much all the text the characters say. Just have to choose which character is going to talk. In this case, since we haven't spawned anybody yet, there's no one in the scene, just gonna use the narrator, and you just write whatever you want. A long time ago, in a studio far, far away. That's the first thing that came to my mind. So ridiculous. So now, if we play this episode, you're going to see the narrators saying a long time ago in the studio far, far away. So to test your episode, all you have to do is press this big rec button right here. So you can see here that we are at the studio, the starting location for our episode, and we see a long time ago in the studio far, far away. And then the episode is over. Yay, we made an episode, right? So technically this counts as an episode, but I assume you want to do more interesting things than just having a narrator monologue. So what we can do right now is set up a few more interesting things. So let's add a new event. So right now you can see what I was talking about when I said that an episode is a sequence of events. You can see here that number 1 is talk, so the narrator is going to say something, and then something else happens, and then something else happens, and so on and so forth. So for the second one, I'm going to choose a spawn movements events called Spawn Squad, which he used to spawn the heroes, and we're going to place somebody at this scene. So whenever you click that big character button on a spawn category event, you're gonna be taken to the screen. The screen is the grid editor, the grid events editor, and it's gonna be used for pretty much everything that involves placing characters, moving characters, removing, etc. So every map is gonna have the grid. So let me just show you the grid. You click on the add character here, and depending on the events that you chose, since I chose squad, you're gonna be limited on what you can include. So let's spawn the lead. So now you can see the grid. You can navigate the grid just as you would in the game, just clicking and dragging. And I'm gonna place this character right here, by the punching bag. So you can also set several different settings here on the top right side, such as whether you can change your mind about which character we're going to spawn. The position, you can check the coordinates on the grid. If it's going to spawn in the ranger suit or not. Let's just leave this false. The final facing of the character after the character ends its movement. It's going to be right or left. And if the character is going to teleport to this position, or if the character is going to come running. So if we leave the teleport true, the character is just going to blam teleport right here, looking to the right. But we don't want that, so just false. Okay, confirm. So you can also see that we have these weird, sometimes overlapping buttons. These are the waypoints. We use these mostly as a guide to determine from where a character is going to come when they enter the level. So we're spawning our lead here. Actually, going to have the lead facing left, or just leave it right. And if we click this waypoint, now we have an event where the lead is going to come from the left door, this waypoint, which funnily enough is in the right. Well, there's a right door over here. Okay. So they're going to come from this waypoint, and they are going to run to this position. If we want to add a second character, we can just do this, and we can do this for the entire squad. So you're going to face right, and the assault as well, because why not? They are going to be spread out like this. They're all going to come from the left or waypoint. So now I have the narrator talking, and then the squad is going to spawn, and then let's say somebody else says something else. So you can see that I'm using the talk event again, but this time I have many more options. So I'm going to choose the lead for this, and he's going to say, wow, we are in a custom episode. And then somebody else is going to say something else. But if you don't want to always go here and click story and talk, yada yada, you can just delete here by using the trash bin. And you can duplicate this event. It's very helpful for talk using this button right here. So now we have two duplicates of the while we are in custom episode. So it's much easier for me to just duplicate and change this to assist. Yeah, this is so cool. Confirm. So what we have here is the lead saying something, and then assist saying something, and then the narrator is going to say something. So I'm going to duplicate this event from the narrator, and I can drag this down using these move down and move up events. So I'm going to drag this all the way to the end and change it to the end. So I duplicated this first to keep the narrator talk events, and just put it in the end and say at the end. So this is our episode. It has 5 events. First the narrator talks, then the squad spawns 3 characters, and the lead says, wow, we're in a custom episode. And then assist says, yeah, this is so cool. And then the narrator says the end, and that's a wrap. So let's save our episode again, get in the habit of saving your episodes, and test it out. A long time ago in a studio far away, they used the left door. And wow, we are in a custom episode. Yeah, this is so cool. The end. Okay, so much better than just a narrator, but still hardly a compelling episode. Before we progress to combat and things like that, I want to just demonstrate a potentially complicated event, which is the movement. So if you want to move the characters that you have previously spawned, you can use spawn and movement, and then use move characters. So this event will allow you to move previously spawned characters except minions. So you can see here a preview of where the characters currently are based on the previous event of your timeline. So this is a reference for the positions that your characters are occupying at the moment. So I can have the assault. So let's have a saw move from here to here. So I just have to click here and have her facing right. So you can see now that the faded one's still there, because this faded saw represents the previous position, and now I have set this one. The waypoints, they mean nothing on this event, so you don't have to worry about waypoints on the movement events. So I'm just going to confirm this event, and I'm going to add another talk. I can either duplicate from here or go all the way here and do this. And I'm going to say, hey, I did not get to say anything on the last version of the episode. That's very upsetting, Salt. So what happens now is we have moved Salt to a different position, and she's going to say this, and then the episode is going to end. So let's check it out. Saving first. Always save first. Let's go. Long time ago, studio far, far away. You can speed your episodes up by holding enter like this. You can see Assault moving, and hey, I did not get to say anything on the last version of this episode. And we're done. Cool. So still not a very compelling episode, but I wanted to demonstrate the move characters event. So probably the next thing we want to do is add some kind of combat. So for this, we're going to spawn some evil minions. You can do this using, again, the spawn movement events. This time we're going to use spawn minions. There we go. So the waypoints again, for this event, they're really not important because the minions, they have several special rules. You can just spawn multiple minions, and they're just going to come from the nearest waypoint. So let's just add some nutcrackers to this scene right here. One here on position for 4. I'm going to confirm. I'm going to add another one right here and confirm. And I'm going to add a third one right here. I also going to go, and why not, just shell shield right here. There we go. If you change your mind, maybe I position this guy weirdly. You just can edit position for the shell shield like this. Super simple. Like I said, you can ignore the waypoints for this particular event. So the minions are going to spawn, and then Assault is going to be happy about it. Yay, minions! Cool. So if I press rec again, there's not going to be any fighting. For us to fight something, we need to set up a combat event. So there are two types of fights, regular fight and the mecha fight. So for the regular fights, you can set up to 2 director's instructions. So these are optional objectives the players can complete for bonus audience. They are automatically balanced depending on the season that the player is in, so you don't have to worry about that. So let's just choose do acrobatics is do X amount of acrobatic moves. Let's choose this. It doesn't work for some reason. So it's probably a bug on the beta. So this is a good time to report. So you can report a bug by clicking on the top right side. I'm gonna put my email over here and say, hey developers who are super nice and handsome, by the way, I was recording a video tutorial and suddenly the acrobatics button was not working on the fight event. So if I do this, it's going to send this message alongside with a screenshot and several information about my computer and the game. None of your personal information, of course, just your how powerful your PC is and things like that. So thank you, me. Okay, so let's do something else. So we have to defeat or win in less than, let's say, five turns. Sounds easy enough. And for the second one, now I want to choose acrobatics. Yes, I chose acrobatics. So I just do 4 acrobatics. There we go. It should be enough. Okay, so now we're ready to actually test a fight. So back to the editor and test it out. Again, you can press enter to speed things up. See the minions spawning, and yay, minions! Winning 5 turns, perform 14 acrobatics. You can leave either one blank. There's no problem. There we go. Now I have a fight. You can chromatize. Yay! So one thing I wanted to remember is that this is the default squad configuration that you're gonna find whenever you test an episode inside of the editor. You're not gonna be able to carry your own squads to the episode editor. If you want to test an episode with your squads from your save file, what you have to do is to save your episode and export it, and then you're gonna open it in your campaign as if it was a regular episode. Okay? So here we have just a regular fight. You can see that if we do an acrobatics move, 1 out of 4 just working. Cool. So if you want to leave your test, you can just click stop, and just going to return you to the timeline screen. And also, if you want to just skip combats to test the rest of the episode, you can just press clear, and it's going to clear all the monsters on the screen. So let's just that. So yay, we won in less 5 turns, but we didn't do the acrobatics. Okay, we're cheaters. And then the episode's done. Cool. So what you can also do is after the fight, the narrator says, and then a giant box appeared in the sky. And spawn, you actually don't need to spawn anything. We go for the mecha fight. So mecha fight, you can choose which of the bosses we're gonna fight. So this is awkward because I just remembered that there is no boxing box on the mecha fights on the main game, so we cannot use the boxing box. Just gonna use Ironing Man and correct this to, and then a giant box appeared in the sky. But when it came closer, you realized it was actually a humanoid iron. And then you fight Iron Man. On the mecha fight, you can choose which direct instructions you want. We can just go with don't miss and get consecutive perfect defenses 4 times, 2 times, 2 times. And after the mecha fight is done, we're going to actually, let's get that narrator saying the end, move it to the actual end. So just move it to the very last event. So now we have a functional episode with a storyline-ish, characters and a fight, and then a mecha fight. So let's just test it out. Long time ago in Studio Far Far Away, we have the spawn, and then people say stuff. We have the movements. Now we have the minions spawning. They come from different places depending on where you place them. Yay, minions! Our direct instructions are working. You can just delete the minions using the clear button, like the dirty cheaters that we are. And then a giant box appeared in the sky. When it came closer, we realized it was actually a humanoid iron. Then it takes us to the mecha fight. Cool. So just as in the last one, you can just stop your episode right here. You can just clear the monster. It's going to defeat it for you. You can see our direct instructions is work over there, and by default it is going to take you back to the previous map and continue the action. So the end, yay, the end. Cool. So now we have an episode. Maybe you want to add some music, stuff like that. So let's just go over this pretty quickly. So you might want to add an event right here on number 2, and use camera and effects. You can fade from black and to black if you want to create some drama. You can flash the camera, things like that. Right now, we just want to play music, and we're going to select nice music here. There we go. So it's just going to loop this, and when the fight breaks out, we're going to change it to the combat music. Which one would be a good one? Yeah, this one's great. Okay. And then the fight breaks out, and then here we can just stop the music. Stop music. You're gonna talk, and here we're gonna stop the music again because the mecha fight has a default music on it. Cool. So this is our episode. Not the best one I ever made, but it gets the point across. So the final thing you want to do is to export your completed episode to Steam Workshop. So to do that, you just go to the pause menu and you hit export. Just remembering that at any point you can go to your episode info and refill this, and see if everything's up to what you want, because this is also going to show on the Steam Workshop. There you go, click export. So if you have never uploaded your episode to Steam Workshop, it's going to say missing Steam Workshop page. So the first thing you want to do is to create this page. Make sure you have a stable internet connection and that you are logged into Steam. So just go here. It should be super quick, and now you have a Steamworks page. Cool. If you click visit, it's going to open your browser and take you there. I might want to bookmark it to something so you can easily access it afterwards. But now that you have a Steam Workshop page, all you have to do is click upload. And here are the change notes. So if you are updating a previously uploaded episode, you can say I just added awesomeness to my episode, and it's going to show on the change notes every time you do an update, so your fans can know what was changed. So if you click submit, it's going to upload to Steam Workshop. Should be relatively quickly depending on how big your episode is and how fast your internet connection is. There we go. And that's it. Your episode is now on Steam. It's still the visibility of the episode set to private, so people are not going to be able to play your episode right now. But you just have to go there to Steam itself, set it to public, and also do other things. For this, I recommend you check our documentation. We have some sections that refer to how to do just that. But this was meant to be a brief overview of how the editor works and how to get the basic things going. And I hope it was useful to you. And like I said, use the documentation, ask questions. Thank you very much for your interest in Chroma Squad. I believe that this feature is going to be super awesome. They're already in the beta. Lots of very interesting episodes, and I can't wait to see what you guys and girls are going to come up with next. So thank you, and see you next time.